On November 16th, our minds were collectively blown out of our skulls.
It's GEAR-1. Hey everybody, welcome to GEAR-1. I'm Ed.
And I'm Noel.
And today we're going to be discussing what happened in the world of EVs on November 16th. Now, for many of you who follow, there was the Tesla truck semi unveiling.
Right.
But that's, when you look on the internet, that's not what you're finding. You're finding news about the new Tesla Roadster.
If you haven't seen it yet, you can get onto the Tesla to tesla.com. Mm-hmm. You can go to the new Roadster link section, the section there for the Roadster, and you can watch the Tesla truck unveil video. You have to have this really cool truck that's really gonna do things. It's gonna change the industry. But it's at the end of it, kind of like the last 30% of that video that they had is where they reveal the Roadster, and it was by complete surprise.
So let's get into the specs, because that's really what's really impressive about it. So first and foremost, it is a 200 kilowatt hour battery.
Right. Yeah.
And, so that's notable. Right now, the largest they have is 100. And this is doubling that capacity.
The 100 in the Model S is available. Doubling that, 200 kilowatt hours is phenomenal.
The Roadster has a minimum range that they're estimating of 620 miles.
What they're saying with the Roadster is that it should be able to drive from LA to San Francisco and back on one charge.
0 to 60, 1.9 seconds.
Right. Yeah.
That is unthinkable. The theoretical limit is supposed to be like 2.1. I don't know what kind of black magic or that Elon Musk and Tesla are putting into this car, but that's amazing.
I think a lot of it has to do with the tires.
Oh, it has to, yeah.
I'm not quite sure how they're getting that much grip out of what I'm assuming are DOT legal tires that aren't being preheated. Maybe they are. Maybe they're doing some type of
They have some preheating capability around the tires to get it ready to do that. I have no idea.
0 to 60, 1.9. 0 to 100 in 4.2.
So just to give you a little bit of context of how quick 4.2 seconds is, well, how would you describe that?
So the Tesla Roadster will do 0 to 100 faster than this sentence I just said.
Yes. Rewind. Check it. It's true. This is tremendous. I mean, this vehicle is, Elon Musk even said it himself, this vehicle was designed to be a complete smackdown to gas cars. So at the time of the release, Elon Musk said that, is it at the wheels, 10,000 Newton meters torque? Information on the vehicle is still pretty hazy. It only happened a few days ago, so...
Yeah, you can go onto the Tesla Roadster site and they have a full list of the specs that they covered at the Tesla truck reveal.
In fact, so something else that's really amazing about it, you think, okay, Roadster, two-seater, right? This thing is a 2+2. That's amazing.
The back seats aren't usable by full-size adults. I mean, you could, but they'd be very
comfortable. Maybe someone just laying across the seats or something like that. That'd be a little bit better. And one of the other really interesting things about this vehicle is it has 3 motors. It's not a dual motor front and back. It's actually 3. There's one motor that runs the 2 fronts, and then one independent ones for the rear with torque vectoring.
Yeah, and supposedly these motors, I mean, people are assuming that they're the same motors that are going into the Model 3. So essentially, it's got 3 times the horsepower.
Yes,
at least. Probably more of a Model 3.
Yes, of a base Model 3.
Of the base.
Yeah,
Model
because
3,
the upgraded versions can have 2. Yeah.
And we're not quite sure if the base Model 3 is, because if you look at the specs on the base Model 3 and the long range Model 3, you'll see that there is a horsepower difference. However, it's assumed that difference is only because of the amount of current that you can get from the batteries. It's possible that even with the long range, the motor being used in the long range version, it's not being used to its fullest capacity. Quarter-mile time in 8.8 seconds.
That would be the fastest production top quarter mile ever.
Top speed, Over 250 miles per hour. Yeah, I mean, these speeds aren't for modified production versions. Like there's a GTR that'll break like 250 and stuff, but it's heavily modified.
But this is the base model of the Roadster.
This is
base
a base
model will go 250 top speed.
I believe that they say that because they haven't tested it yet. I think that they're confident that it could go over 250, but they have it. I mean, to go over 250, you essentially need. There's only a couple of test tracks in the United States that you could possibly do that on, and if they had the car on there, then a lot of people would know.
So runways wouldn't be long enough?
No, not for 250. I don't think so. Not to safely find that top speed.
Oh yeah, because you need the runoff.
Brake.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it would be. I mean, I think the longest runways pretty much max out at like 3 miles.
Okay.
And I don't think that would be enough.
Now, how do you get your hands on it? How much do you have to shell out for this vehicle? Well, let's go with vehicles that we're more familiar with.
Okay.
The Holy Trinity.
Okay.
Okay.
The Holy Trinity.
Ferrari is the
Ferrari.
most expensive,
Okay.
right? That's the most expensive one, right?
1.2 million.
Okay. And the P1, the McLaren P1.
The McLaren P1 is just shy of $1 million.
Okay, like 900 something.
Yeah.
Okay. The Porsche 918.
And that's the cheapest one. That's 800, around 800-ish.
Now, of those three vehicles, these are supposedly like three of the greatest vehicles that have ever been built. In fact, they hold like some of the top records on the Nürburgring.
I believe those three. Well, actually, the fastest car around the Nürburgring.
The fastest one is Neo MP9.
Is the Neo MP9.
But they are up there within the top 10.
Yes.
So to put into context, these are these supercars, right? None of them have the same kind of specs as the Tesla Roadster, as the new Tesla Roadster. That's across the board. None of them have that kind of range, torque, 0 to 60, 0 to 100, quarter mile times, nothing. So this already defeats all of those. Now, even if this thing came in at just under $800,000, that would be a deal because you're getting a better vehicle. So with a $50,000 deposit and maybe even a $250,000 price point, you're getting the Founders Edition. But if you just want a regular version, you don't want to pay that extra money, it's actually pretty good value. It's only $200,000. So in terms of those performance specs that we mentioned before, how do those sort of compare to other vehicles that do have actual tested specs?
So the current 0 to 60 title holder, 0 to 60 miles per hour title holder is the Porsche 918. It does it in 2.1 seconds.
Very, very fast. Very fast.
The current quarter mile, and we're talking production cars, the current quarter mile title holder is the Dodge Challenger SRT Demon. And that's pulling the quarter mile at 9.65 at 140 miles per hour. To put it in perspective of, the P100D, which is also, by any measure, a very quick car, a very fast car. 0 to 60 in 2.28 seconds, and a quarter mile time of 10.44 at 124 miles per hour.
So when can you get one?
So Elon Musk mentioned that production would begin in 2020.
Now that's important. Production will begin in 2020. That doesn't mean that they'll start distributing vehicles in 2020.
Now I think it's fair that you kind of have to run this through the Tesla filter.
Yes, the Tesla math.
Yeah, Tesla math, which means whatever was stated when you have the first concept version of it out, you have to add 2 years onto it.
That's
on the safe side.
That's generally been the rule. Yes.
This is assuming that you're not already a Tesla employee or a current Tesla owner. And I don't think Model 3s count. Sorry, guys. I know I'm in the same boat. Yeah, so 2022 would probably be a safe bet as far as when you could get your hands on one if you had that type of money and were willing to put down a deposit. Now, this is just my opinion. I believe that they'll produce thousands of them. Maybe even if the demand is there, and I'm pretty sure it will be.
At that
maybe
price
they'll
point,
even produce over
goodness.
10,000 of them over the life of this product.
Yeah, I mean, at that price point and what you're getting, It's a phenomenal value. I know it's a lot of damn money, but it's a phenomenal value.
So the question is, what are they powering this, unicorn with, right? And all signs point to the 2170 cells that are being used for the Model 3 in their Powerwall.
Yes.
It's doubtful that Tesla is using some type of prismatic cell in it.
Yeah, and I doubt that it's a solid-state battery because that probably would make really big news if they had it.
If they had a solid-state battery, it'd be big news. And actually, they'd be way ahead of everybody else.
Oh yeah,
that's attempting to pioneer a vehicle with a solid-state battery.
Yeah.
We'll almost likely see them in consumer electronics before we will see them in vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're smaller scale and probably a higher turnaround.
Yeah. So all signs point to the 2170 cells.
Which makes sense because that's the battery that they're producing in their Gigafactory.
Yeah, that's really amazing that they're able to do this with that battery, and it says a lot of things, So where is the future? What's the significance of this vehicle? This vehicle the significance of it is huge.
Yes.
And not just for the performance vehicle world, but for just EVs in general. It's going to change things. I mean, we're gonna have to wait a few years. Mm-hmm. The Model 3 itself will change things, and we'll see that
change things in a different way.
Yeah. In a different way, we'll see that sooner. Mm-hmm. But really, what has to happen is that other manufacturers that are sort of have their mainstay in their performance reputation are going to have to step up.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure people at like Porsche,
the
BMW, Audi, they're freaking out.
The Mission E project that
it's supposed to be the Model S killer.
Yeah, it's like a Model S killer, and it's kind of like, well, that seems kind of trite now compared to the Tesla Roadster.
It's like the Model S is not the vehicle wearing the #1 headband anymore. Yeah. So it's.
I do have to say, for guys that are into internal combustion, hey, don't worry, this is good for you too. Because what it means is that everybody that's putting an ICE in a car has to step up their game. If you can buy a $200,000 hypercar, so what are you gonna have to do? I mean, you're gonna have to you gotta raise the stakes. You gotta go farther. You gotta go, bigger. And I think this will it's similar to back in 2009 when the GTR first came out.
Yeah, that was a big moment.
So came out, took the Nürburgring record.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody stood up and took notice and said, hey, we can't let this happen. We have reputations to protect. And now, 2009 GTR time was fast
at the time.
Yeah, but there's at least a dozen cars today that are faster. Yeah. By quite a bit. Actually, more than that.
And very similar, the GTR was capable of doing all these things at an incredibly affordable price point. It was like $80-something thousand.
Yeah, it was like $85,000 when it first came out.
So it's tremendous. Maybe the manufacturer was taking a hit on it because they wanted to get it out there. It's gone up since. It's like 100 and something now.
I think it's like 115 just to get into it.
But still, getting the performance that you're getting from a GTR is still, again, I say this generally speaking, it's a great value. You're getting a lot of vehicle. You're getting a very capable vehicle for that price point.
What Tesla is known for are a couple of things. One, whatever estimate they give you, you got to add time onto that.
Yeah.
Because it's always off. Right?
They're ambitious, but not always accurate.
Yeah. Two, whatever they state that's the performance of a vehicle, it always beats expectations. The Model S was always faster. The Model X was faster than the specs. And the Model 3 still needs to be tested, but from what people have been reporting, it seems to live up and exceed. EPA has already given the range.
Is actually more than what he expected.
It's exceeded the original specifications put out by Tesla. Now, it's hard to believe that the Roadster can actually even achieve these, but going off of Tesla's track record, they're pretty good with, meeting and exceeding their performance specs. So that's it's almost frightening that you could have a vehicle that is capable of that performance for $200,000. I mean, essentially on November 16th, that night, there
were probably a lot of phone calls that were made.
There were probably a lot of executives of these companies that collectively crap themselves. The Roadster still hasn't come out. Until some come out and they have to be independently tested, we can't be sure yet, but Tesla does not disappoint.
No.
Tesla, when it comes to performance.
Yeah, when it comes to delivery. but
If you're GEAR-1, we're all about performance.
Yes. With that, we're going to sign off to saying be sure to like us, subscribe to us.
And if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them below.
And with that, I'm going to tell you that I am Ed, telling you to stay safe.
And I'm Noel, telling you to stay fast.
See you next time, everybody.